First, we'll play a short clip just to get familiarized with what NEOM is about before we go on stage. Thank you.
What is NEOM? This is NEOM, or here, to be more precise, in the northwest of Saudi Arabia. But NEOM is more than a place. It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation, an entirely new model for sustainable living. The vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojana, a year-round mountain destination. And just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or if skiing's not your thing, there's always Sindala, one of NEOM's many beautiful islands, perfect for some R&R. And a line, a 500-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer long city in the shape of, well, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. But best of all, the entire region will offer unparalleled access to nature and will be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need NEOM?
That's a good question.
The world needs NEOM because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
made to change.
NEOM represents a global opportunity for one, changing how the world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. Two, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest standards of livability. Sounds nice, right? And three, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will NEOM achieve these aims, you may ask? Within NEOM are 14 sectors, spearheaded by the world's best talent. Each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine NEOM as a prototype for a better future, a future for all. One being built to last. Sound good? Great. So when the world asks, what is NEOM? You'll know to answer that NEOM's a place that'll change the way we live on this planet. Simple, really.
Second one. Wow. Well, that looks like you're trying to create a new world. So can we have Mr. Wayne Borg on stage, please?
Thank you, sir.
I think you should take this one.
I don't know which one.
I think they need to hear you more than they need to hear me.
Why have I got a fluffy bit on this?
Well, Mr. Wayne, that's quite an ambitious and exciting project you have here.
Yep.
Can you give us a bit more of an overview of what NEOM represents and how you're looking to play within the media space?
Yeah, sure. So, as you saw there, it's quite a radical proposition when it comes to urbanism. NEOM really at its fundamental is about how do you address the big sustainability issues that face the planet today. And most of the challenges around sustainability are really focused on the urban environments that we live in. And if you take a view where you had no legacy in a blank piece of paper where you could sort of recreate, the optimal, design of a city that minimises its impact both literally and figuratively on the planet, a linear solution like NEOM is how you optimise that and minimise that impact. And at the heart of what we're doing here is how you redefine urbanism in how we're living, how we're working, and how we interact with each other. As you saw on the video, it's an environment that'll have no cars, no roads. Its transport mode will be primarily rail, metro, high-speed, hyperloop. And it'll be entirely, carbon zero. Not net carbon, but carbon zero. As you saw, we're entirely powered by both solar and wind. And given that, NEOM is a very sort of large, it's not just a city, it's larger than a city, it's a jurisdiction. We cover a landmass of about 26,500 square kilometres. What does that look like? For the Europeans, it's the size of Brussels. For the Americans, it's the size of Massachusetts. I can't find a comparable comparison in Africa, but it'll give you some sort of context and scale. This is a large jurisdiction. The ambition is to have 9 million people living at NEOM by 2050. So we're going to have a thriving society, a thriving economy. And, if you look at one of the industries one of the key industries advanced economies have is the media and the creative industries. And hence why, for NEOM, the media and the creative industries is an important, part of the mix of what we're doing in terms of the ability to attract talent, generate jobs, and generate and create, economic benefit in the way of GDP and so forth.
I also saw 40% plus incentives.
Yep, straight to the money.
Yeah. That's why.
So exactly.
Look at the eyes.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
I can see the eyes.
Look, here we go.
Yeah. So, how do you go about that? Who's eligible, and do you have any restrictions?
Yeah. So given we want to be, active and operational in the media industry, our first goal is to become the regional hub for content creation in the Middle East and North Africa. So for us, it's the full ecosystem. It's screen in all its forms, whether it's feature film, TV, streaming, animation. It's about the gaming industry. So, console, PC, mobile games, digital publishing, it's music, it's podcasts, it's advertising services. It's a full ecosystem. And today, the industry in the region underperforms. If you consider that the world is made up of 6% Arabic speakers, yet less than 1% of content is in Arabic. I can give you a range of other metrics that pretty much reflect that. So the market underperforms. So for us, it's about how do we consolidate the market in where it struggles today, which is you have infrastructure that's fragmented, you have talent that's dispersed, you have industry that's scattered. So as we all know, the power of our industry is when you consolidate and you drive collaboration. So that's really at the core of our offering. And I'm going to get to the 40%. But it's a really, it's not just about one element. You have to have the full mix if you're going to be viable and compete. So for us, it is about a critical mass of infrastructure. Today we have 4 sound stages operational at a minimum size of 2,500 square meters. We'll have 10 by the end of this year. We've got dedicated accommodation for cast and crew. Today it's 350 units. That'll grow to 500 again by the year end. It's also about having a depth and breadth of talent. It's about minimising bureaucracy and getting out of the way. We want to offer red carpet, not red tape. And then it's about having the right incentives and attractive incentives. So we have a cash rebate production incentive. It's 40% plus. So if you want to know what the plus can add up to, come and talk to me afterwards. But in essence, we're probably the most attractive and competitive incentive that's operating today globally. It's a very simple process for us. You submit your script, your production schedule, your byline budget. We'll assess that. One, to make sure we can deliver what you need from a production standpoint. Two, to determine what you're going to qualify for, and three, that the timing works. We'll come back to you with a provisional certificate in a prompt manner. You do the production. We don't cash flow the incentive, and at the end of the production, you'll be audited. At that end of the audit process, we'll advise you of what incentive you're entitled to, and then you invoice us for that amount. And then within 45 to 90 days, you're paid. So it's a very clean and simple process. We've already had 30 productions at NEOM over the past 18 months, ranging from local films at $1 million budget right through to big international productions at $150 million. A 6-month shoot called Desert Warrior, Anthony Mackie in the lead from the Marvel Universe world, Ben Kingsley. We had 450, 500 people on set every day for nearly 6 months. So gives you a sense of our capacity and our capability. And it's, and we've done a range, not just feature film, where we do television. We do both scripted and unscripted or non-scripted. We're doing a lot in the reality TV space, working with the Talpa Group, John de Mol, out of Amsterdam. We've done documentaries. And it's, we're continuing to build that pipeline up. And for us, it's not just about locations. We've got an amazing array of locations, as you saw from that video. We've got 500 kilometres of coastline, mountain ranges that elevate 2,500 metres, and we get snow in the winter, classic desert dunes, and a range of other terrains.
Okay, it's mind-blowing. Seeing we're here at African, and I haven't heard you say anything about Africa. Is there anything in the works? Are you looking to get into the space? And what are you looking to do for the continent? What's the offer?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're involved in Africa. We want to engage more with the African industry at a broad level. Obviously, some of the key areas like Nigeria. We're working now with India. We've done our first Bollywood feature that happened late last year, a film called Dunki, which is going to be released later this year with Shah Rukh Khan in the lead. There's a number of other Indian projects that are in the works right now, and we'd love to engage with the African industry. We're on the African continent, technically, I think, and it would be fantastic if we could, develop projects that can utilize our facilities, our stages, and take advantage of the great incentive that we have.
Are you guys willing to also add on any form of empowerment or capacity building?
Absolutely. We do a lot in industry learning. So for us, developing that talent pool is vitally important. We've already trained 300 young people in applied learning in the screen sector. We've got some of our young trainees with us here today. Most of them have gone on to gain full-time employment, in the industry, and we have extensive programs with some of the key leaders in industry learning around the world. We have a range of programs with the National Film and Television School in the UK, both an entry-level program as well as a master's program. We work with USC. We work with DigiPen in the VFX and in the gaming space, which again is sort of increasingly becoming prevalent in the screen sector. So, training talent. And not just from the kingdom, that's important, but we have a broader remit, as I've described. So it's important we're creating a much larger talent pool. And as you saw, NEOM is not just about Saudi Arabia. NEOM is a global project, and we want to attract talent from around the world.
Okay. Is there like any threshold for your investment, and would it be different for regions where you're to get into, like Africa, or do you have a particular threshold across the world?
We have a generous minimum threshold. It's $500,000 spend. So we want to make it as accessible to many people as possible. What qualifies for that spend is pretty much your on-the-ground expenditure. We have an above-the-line component, which many jurisdictions don't offer. So we'll allow you to incorporate 20% of your above-the-line budget, so long as it's not more than 20% of the total budget can qualify for the incentive.
Oh, that's for the incentive.
It's part of the incentive, correct?
Okay.
Yep.
So who can approach typically? Who can approach NEOM?
Anybody. We're a global proposition. We've done projects, as I've described, with the US, with the UK, with India. We're just about to do something with Turkey. So, for us, and obviously we've done a lot of projects from the region, the UAE, and the like. So it's important for us, as part of our mandate, to become that regional hub, that we're engaged with the industry at a broad level. Fundamentally, whilst we're going to be that center for content creation for the Middle East, North Africa marketplace, we want to become one of the elite global media hubs. So we're participating in what is now, a global industry, and producing content for the global marketplace. We're no longer in a world where, content is demarcated by, US content or English content versus rest of the world. The streamers have elegantly, shown audiences around the world that, you don't have to be afraid of subtitles. Dubbing is still, I think, a bit jarring, but, great content now will find an audience. It's no, language, culture are no longer a barrier to global success, and the streamers now provide that platform, to grab that critical success.
Okay, and beyond film, what other kind of content are you guys?
Yeah, documentaries, scripted TV drama. We've already hosted a 10-part TV series called Rise of the Witches. That was about $3 million an episode budget. It's based on a very famous book franchise from the region. We're doing reality shows, as I said, with Talpa, probably the leaders in reality television, John DeMole's company. We're looking to become the format hub for some of those shows, so not only create the regional version, but the European and possibly Latin American versions as well. So again, driving efficiency as best we can. And I should state, a lot of what you saw in that video, they're just our interim facilities. Our in-state media hub, which will be co-located on the line, will cover a footprint of about 1 million square meters. And we'll start with 50 sound stages, that industry tenancy space, industry learning, gaming studios, incubation and startup space. So you have a fully integrated proposition. And that largely doesn't exist anywhere in the world today. And that, both physical and technological integration means that content, collaboration, how we train people can be delivered in new ways and hopefully much more efficiently, particularly in an environment where there's so much downward pressure on production costs.
Okay, with the TV shows, do you only work with people with original ideas, or like in Africa now we have a lot of franchised shows, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Family Feud, you have the $100,000 pyramid.
I have no criteria for the content. So long as it's legal, I don't care. We'll double for any territory in the world. I'm agnostic. I'm not here to, focus on a particular genre or style of content. We are about creating an industry base. So for us, we're here to serve content creators and makers and make sure we can deliver their projects on time and on budget every time. So the nature of your content, that is of no concern to me. Like I said, as long as it's legal.
Great. Okay, I've exhausted my questions, so I'll throw it open to the audience. Anyone?
Yes, hello. Very good. The man has a big voice.
There's a divide
I would love that, and that's one of the reasons I'm here talking today. The reason I refer to it in that way is that's how the market is defined. So if you think about how content is sold, how the territory is licensed, it is Middle East, North Africa. I agree with you. You know, as I said, we're technically, I think, part of the same continent. You know, we're working with India. For me, it's working with jurisdictions all over the world to bridge those gaps and to build the bridges. So we have no, concerns whatsoever, and that's again why we're here, because we think there's a huge opportunity to engage with the sub-Saharan African industry, if you want to define it that way, or the African industry, because we see there's a huge opportunity. There's a great talent pool there. We want to help develop that talent pool in terms of training, through the various programs we have, and we want to engage with you in terms of the production process and support it as best we can. One small step for Wayne, one giant step for NEOM. There you go.
It's a good one. So I'd like to ask, what's the process to initiate this?
It's very simple. You contact, the head of my production team is here today. He's holding up his hand. You can contact, his name's Sam Pantos, SAMPANTOS @neom.com. He operates 24/7 like me. So yeah, you reach out to him with the project as I described. Ideally, if you're close or in that prep stage, that you're able to send the script, the production byline budget and some form of schedule. We can then sort of come back to you and assess that fairly quickly and provide some guidance to you on what you'll be entitled to and the fact that we can meet the production requirements of your project.
Any collateral?
We have a fantastic website, and I don't know, have we got any of the books here today or not? If you come along to the Saudi Pavilion, we're situated there. We've got a very nice brochure that has all the details of all our facilities, all the specifications, locations. We have an international airport at NEOM. So we have a weekly flight to London, so about 5 hours-ish, depending on the wind, to London, straight into Heathrow, not Gatwick or Stansted or some other Ryanair location. It's a proper London airport. We have also flights a couple of times a week to Dubai, and Dubai's about 2 hours away. So we've got good access. As much as people think we're in the middle of nowhere, at the end of the day, we're like 3 hours from Monaco, and 3 hours from here, in effect. So that's what you need to keep in the context. It's a beautiful part of the world, as you probably sort of got a sense from the video. So, we have classic Lawrence of Arabia deserts. We have amazing coastline. We have Petra-style landscapes. As well as sort of the canyons of Nevada or Colorado, as well as sort of literally out of this world sort of locations that are very Martian-esque in their nature.
All right. Yeah.
Look at that. I'm getting brown of a... Thanks, Sam. Sorry, this man, yeah.
I'm Sydney. I'm a documentary filmmaker and actor from Sweden. Mr. Wayne, I have a question about advertisement. How do you work with social media?
In what context?
Yeah, in the context, yeah. Do you work with, are you interested in influencers from some part of the world? Or
that gets handled by our corporate marketing team in terms of promoting NEOM. For us, as I described, the production side of things, we're an agnostic location. Okay, it's if you happen to through the location filming, you showcase the beauty of NEOM, and that prompts people to think, wow, where is that? I want to go there. That's fantastic. But it doesn't define the type of projects we're interested in or the objective of what we're doing here. We want to be able to be as flexible as possible to all filmmakers, television producers, to create the content they need for locations, but also on stages. We've got one of our sound stages, a 200 episode a year soap opera that's just about to kick off. That's an inner city youth show. Okay, everyone goes, what? A NEOM? But that's on the stage. We're also going to have a volumetric stage at the end of the year, so it also adds flexibility in terms of the environments that you may want to shoot, and keep the production situated in one place. But from an influencer perspective, that's more in the domain of our corporate marketing team.
Hello, I'm Coriandu. I'm a producer and talent agent from Angola. I have a question. So I've obviously noticed that you are focusing a lot on selling your location, but are you also financing projects?
No. There's other aspects, entities within Saudi Arabia that are doing that. Our focus is very much on the incentives, which as I said, are very generous. And in terms of sort of financing, either development or equity, we're leaving that to other groups within the ecosystem in Saudi Arabia.
Hello, my name is Alita Chappelle. I'm a director and a casting director and producer. I'm sorry I was late, so I may have missed it. Can you tell me, are there restrictions regarding women and what is required? If headscarves are needed, or what is the political atmosphere for a female director?
There are none.
There are none. Okay.
I can't be any plainer than that.
Anyone else? A question?
And there are a number of women in the room who are from Saudi Arabia and who visited and who work there and live there, and they can vouch for it. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything to what I just said from a female perspective, rather than a male saying there are none. But anyway, it's a vibrant environment. It is a place where creativity is encouraged, and people have the opportunity to be the best they can be, and that's where everything's heading, particularly from a NEOM perspective. Have you been? You obviously haven't been to Saudi Arabia. No. There are. There is no issue. There is no issue. I think there's lady behind you. Lady behind you wants to say something. Celine, do you want to? Oh, I thought you were putting your hand up to say something.
Thank you. It's not working. I was at NEOM a few weeks ago, actually, and also went to Jeddah, so I've got the experience in, both places, never wore a headscarf. It's same here in London and Paris. There is no issues as to anybody asking you which religion you are, where you're from, and I felt more welcome than I do in my own city in Paris or living in London. So.
I'm going to embarrass her, but the young lady that's sitting in front of you, when it comes to driving, has a notorious habit of racking up quite a lot of speeding fines. Literally, Lena, the young lady in white there. So, yeah, she's going for it.
Yeah. I'd like to add to that. I was also in Jeddah in December for the film festival, and it was like being in any other city. It felt very safe. We all had our concerns coming in, but it was absolutely normal.
You shouldn't believe everything you read.
Morning, everybody. My name is Yolanda from South Africa. I work, is it better? Oh, okay. My name is Yolanda Ngokotwana from South Africa. I work for the National Film and Video Foundation of South Africa, which is a funding institute that does production and development funding, facilitates co-production with other countries, as well as skills development.
Congratulations.
Okay, that will be all for the session. Thank you, Mr. Wayne Borg.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along and listening.
And guys, we're moving on to we'll be having a cocktail session outside with NEOM and the team. So feel free to ask further questions while we sip.
Ni rahisi kupata msaada ukiwa na wenzako, wetaka usimtenge dada, kitangamana nawe, kuna wengine wataitika, nawe shikamana naye, itaondoa kusononeka. You better know, let's be happy and love one another. Itaondoa kusononeka. That is over. What we gotta do to make a change? So I'm tryna get over. Much love is what we need upon us. Let them come together with the unity among us. Unity wise, it's a unity. Yeah, no, this a good world. You know what I'm saying? Umoja ni nguvu, utengano udhaifu, tukisimama